Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Footballs. So, obviously, if you all are mad Tiger fans like myself, you would have seen the report on the AFL app about Richmond going after going after a Gold Coast Suns player. Now, I may not pronounce his last name right. If I do it wrong, I do apologise. Malcolm Rosas Jr., which is classified as a... Look, it says he's meant to be a small forward, but also I spoke to some people who said he's not quite a small forward. But it says Richmond is leading in the growing number of clubs interested in pursuing the out-of-contract Gold Coast small forward Malcolm. Malcolm has struggled for regular games under Damon Hardwick, just playing 3 in 2025. So the Tigers are keen to lure the 24-year-old. So he's obviously before I'll keep reading it more in a minute, but I had been saying in the last few trade videos that I had done, or targets that I had done, or rumours that I had done, is that we need to try and find someone with that middle age tier, so 24. He's not as quite as young, so his body will have will be used to the AFL rigours, so his body won't be as sore, probably don't get as injured as much and tired. So he would go into the punt road to join the dynamic mix of small forwards that include Seth Campbell, Morris Rowley Jr. and Steely Green. Probably needs to include Ryan Mansell and Jasper Alga. That's my slight concern. I'll talk about the concerns afterwards. Sydney is also interested in him, who has a strong back half to his VFL season for the Suns, which is including small stints in the middle of the ground. So he can go middle. And I'm not against that, because if he comes in, maybe that's where you see a Jasper, Seth Campbell, a Steely Green. They can start moving towards playing more of a midfield role. So he was a draft zone academy from Darwin. So drafted from the Gold Coast Academy at the end of 2019 through its Darwin zones. He has kicked 46 goals from his 48 games. So he's not at 50 games yet, considering he's 24. Obviously means he's been in the system for 6 years. That's obviously struggling to get game time under Hardwick as well, which isn't helping him. But he's almost at the 50 games, which means he's got a bit more experience and he's that middle age. I'm not against that. And then we'll jump over to the Suns one. So just go over some of his basic stats. So a lot of his stuff is below average. He's 24. He's 183 centimeters. His disposals are, he averages 7 disposals per game, 5 kicks, 2 handballs, 1.3 marks, 1.3 tackles, and 0.3 goals. So the 0.3 goals is probably concern. He's not even kicking close to half a goal. Obviously, which is quite surprising considering his games played to goals is only off by 2 goals to his games. Obviously, there's some sort of stuff we need to improve on. But also he can grow with Richmond as we grow. And then in his profile it says, possessing light, quick speed, elite ability to find goals, and a ruthless tenacity to pressure opponents' defenders. Malcolm was a key contributor in the Suns' forward line in 2023, playing a career high of 19 games. The Darwin Academy Zone product has 33 goals to his name. And this is obviously all before 2000. This is obviously last was updated was 2024. So it's not too bad. So he was pick. Where was he? He was pick 37 in the rookie elevation draft. So the benefit of his draft costing so low, it's not like we're trying to steal like a Dion Prestia. It's not like we're going after a top 5 prospect. They had. There would be a low. Other positives for him would be a low. I would hope it would be a low cost budget. The only issue is we don't have any picks besides our first round picks. Maybe there's an option where the Gold Coast Suns, we swap first round picks, and we just slide down a couple of picks and we get him, and maybe we get back our old third round pick we sent to him. Now, I'm not all for it yet, just because I'm not sure if we need to add another small forward to our line. Just going through some of the names earlier. So you got Seth Campbell, Steely Green, Morris Rowley Jr., Jasper Alga, Ryan Mansell. There's nearly 6 players that can play the small forward. Do you need to add another one? I don't want to then pay somebody, so give him a 3-year contract or a 4-year contract, and then he comes over and he just stays in the VFL. And then that takes away the chances of getting more games into a Steely Green, a Jasper Elga. So it is obviously going to have its positives and negatives on that decision if Richmond do decide to go this way. The low cost probably and a bit more of the middle age one is probably the benefit, but whether he wants to actually come to Richmond is a different one because he's from Darwin, so similar to Charlie Cameron when he went to Brisbane, he wanted to be to Brisbane because he was closer towards his home. Not saying he's I don't know if he's out of contract. That's another one, and then just the cost. I'm not against doing low cost trades, but it's hard considering this year we have Lewis Callaway coming in. And then the following year after that, we have so many. We have like 3 or 4 NGA and a couple of father and sons. Where, to me, really Richmond this year should be trading players out to get more picks in, than to draft players in. But look, it is just some of the rumours. I don't know if it's official. They're going after him. It may change. He may decide to stay at the Gold Coast Suns. It's happened before. Players to just start having conversations with other players, and then the club finds out, and the club goes, "No, we want to keep him." A la Carlton and Collingwood with Jack Silvani. Collingwood had made the phone call. Now all of a sudden, Carlton's saying he's very valuable. So a very valuable key player for them, and they don't want to lose him. And then they're all pulling all the stops out to keep him. Things like that do happen in the AFL. So, look, who knows? I'm not 100% against it, but I'm not 100% with the decision to go after it. My only concerns is that we already have enough small forwards, and it's time we need to develop those small forwards before we take the chance on somebody else. So, alright guys, thank you for watching this video. Please leave a like and comment below what you think about this trade idea. If you're for it or not for it, give us the reasons why you are and why you're not. Hit that like and subscribe button. Stay safe, and as always, go Tigers.